Hi, I'm Bruce. If you didn't already know that, you're probably better to spend your time elsewhere, because this channel's really only aimed at keeping friends and family apprised of what I'm up to here in my retirement in Indonesia. Karana's front yard has been obliterated again by supplies for our construction projects. I wonder if she gets sick of it. Well, I gather Jubaedah's given us some financial compensation for this. We're making progress on this. Can't quite see the extent of the rock from this angle, so I'll wander out over there a bit. So there's the brick stacking, and there's the pile of rock which will be used for foundation. You see these guys are only wearing sandals. That can be hazardous to feet. Jubaedah came to me yesterday for supplies for first aid because somebody dropped a rock on their foot. And I can't see this terribly well from my cameras, but if you look over in the top of the shed over there, that's my camera at the west end, which can sort of see a bit of this between the tree and Dad's house. Looking at that sky, we look like we might get another afternoon thunderstorm, as we are wont to do. But yeah, it's hot out here. It's always hot out here. I thought they'd taken away the back fence of the rice factory over there. So the pile has just shrunk down, that's all. It's a bit after 1 in the afternoon, and normally it'd be much hotter than this, so I feel there is a storm coming on. And if we look at the current figures there, yeah, 25.8 feels like 27.7, which is not really that big a difference. But if you look, you'll see the humidity is 99%, so the dew point is only 0.2 of a degree less than current temperature. So, yeah. What I was going to show you here, except that the temperature there has gone offline, so if we go and look at a different readout I've got here, you can't really make this one out very clearly, but it has the focus. Come on, you can do it. Just being stubborn. Manual focus to help it. Okay, so what we have there, a bit dimmer, is the heat index, which is the same as the feels like temperature. And down there it says today, the maximum feels like was 48.6. The maximum feels like this month, where's my pointer? I can't find my pointer with my camera. There it is. Okay, so maximum feels like this month is 55.6, and this year 60. So it feels like temperature of 60 degrees C. Without AC, I would be in real trouble here, I think, because yeah, those temperatures are taking damage. So that's the view from the camera on the west end of the shed. And if we zoom in, this camera goes off focus. There's the rock pile down on the other side of the rice drying area at the rice factory. So the brick pile is just slightly out of sight behind the tree. And if we go to the camera on the east end of the shed and just make out the end of the rock pile over there, so we'll be able to see construction of the well, which will happen down here at the slum point. But yeah, I'll be able to see a bit without leaving the lounge room. It's Sunday and work continues here any day of the week that we're prepared to pay them for. So it looks like the bricks stacking is completed. There'll probably be more bricks later. Big pile of rock there. It looks like the sand is being transferred out here too. There's some there, but new pile over there. Let's see what's still out the front. Yep, still a big mound of sand at the front. So, got a day or two's work here yet. But, as I say, any day they can get paid, they're happy to work. It's, labour's cheap here. Like these guys doing this are on the equivalent of about $10 a day, plus food and drink, and to my disgust, cigarettes. It's part of the supplies. I'm not happy about buying cigarettes for the workers because I figure, well, why do you want to poison your friends? But there's a very high smoking rate in Indonesia, and they wouldn't be happy if they didn't get their free cigarettes, or cigarettes they work for. Please, who's being a bit entrepreneurial and running a snack operation on my back patio. So it's in very high demand. Local kids turn up after school and before school. So there's all sorts of cooked snacks and ice drinks. But it doesn't have to worry about health stands or anything because such things aren't enforced around here. People are left to their own devices. But it's good. I've just come up with another project for myself. In the bathroom here, I had this thermostat on the wall here to control a fan up there, exhaust fan, and that's set to start the fan at 28 degrees. That's saying yes, the fan, hang on, focus. That's saying yes, I would have the fan turned on, but the fan is no longer running. These fans only seem to last for a couple of months before they give up the ghost. Cheap fan. I had a few of them, so that's the second one in that service. But I'm thinking, well, rather than replace that with another one of the cheap fans, which I have about 3 more, I'll use one of those 4-inch axial blowers that were the wrong order. But I need to make a box so I can sit on top of that after that's been gutted, connect to the wires that power that, and go from there. So I'm going to go over the shed and have a bit of a plotting session. Okay, so this is the same fan as is on top over the bathroom at the moment. Now, that thing doesn't really come into it. That's shoved up through a hole in the roof and through a piece of MDF on the other side with screws up through it to hold it up there. And it has a screw there to top on. The wiring goes up to those joiners. Now, the one that's in the roof is no good anymore. So what I'd like to do is basically remove the guts of that and just have a pass through to a box, and in the box have mounted this guy and have it set up so that the hole that this sits into is into a boxed enclosure which sits over that. So you just take it up there. The wiring will go through between the edge of the hole where that is and down the inside of this to connect to the wiring on the other side. That's my thinking. And I've tested, and well, these flaps to keep stuff from falling down in there, they'll obviously come out, and we need something on the top of the box to stop crap falling through. And I have a number of these, which are standard gravity type wall vent thing. but I've tested and that blower has enough oomph to blow these open when it's running. So I need a box big enough to screw that onto, big enough to hold that, with a hole in the bottom that sits over that. And because I don't know how far these screws that are holding this on underneath come up through the piece of MDF, I need to have the thing set so it's skewed so that the box doesn't interfere with those screws when it just sits down on top. So that's the plan. Well, it's a couple of hours later and I had a bit of a drawing exercise. So the ones which are the same colour are identical apart from that one and this one, where this one's got the extra hole through it. But the two sides, the purple sides, are the same. The top and bottom are the same, and these two intermediate ones are the same. So that one, and the back are unique. Those are all in pairs. So, as you can see, I've sort of done notches there so that I can interlock them a bit. When it's all glued together, nothing will slide. So, I guess I can take a piece of paper and do a paper template for each of these, but I think I'll get by. I think I can actually call this up on the computer over in the shed if I need to refer to something. But the idea is that this part sits over the gutted fan, well, the fan after it's been gutted, it's up there at the moment, and the bracket for the axial blower sits, it's screwed to the back wall and sits into those two holes, and then that louver vent, plastic louver vent type thing can sit in the top there. And installation is a matter of going up, gutting the old fan, getting its power wires and connecting them up to the wire that comes through there, which can just, the excess can just sit in this box. Yeah, so now I've got to think about fabricating that. Should be no great struggle. I'm just going to try and be a little bit accurate so I don't have big gaps where I've got those notches. And there we go, that's the pieces all drawn out. Of the first three from on the left, need 2 each, and the last 3 is 1 each. So there's 9 pieces in total. It'll take me a while to make. Normally Jubaedah's up at 4 in the morning. This morning she was up about 2:30 having a big cook up, preparing for these guys. They'll start with construction of the well. And we've had a delivery of gravel for concrete at the front here. Well, my guesstimation is way off. I can get it out of just 2 strips. So side, back, bottom front, top front, bottom, lower shelf, upper shelf, top. All 9 pieces. But as can be seen from the drops of sweat, I've started to overheat, so time to go away before I even start cutting. These guys are making good progress on the well. But, they're obviously mucking around in the water already. I can hear it. Sounds wet down there. I'm not going to go closer through the mud to find out just how much water is in there. But I'll go down a certain distance and then I'll start getting to the really hard stuff. So this will be about 8 or 9 metres deep by the time they're finished. But not sunny, so it's not as hot as it could be, fortunately. But still looks like hard work to me. Having marked out the pieces on my sheet of MDF over there in the shed, I was thinking, okay, now how do I cut that? Now, experience suggests that using my jigsaw or reciprocating saw is not going to be precise enough. Even using a fence to run the jigsaw along, I can't get a straight line. So I thought, okay, what I really need is a circular saw. So I thought about getting myself a table saw, but to get one of a suitable size, it was going to cost a little bit. So I thought about it further. I thought maybe a circular saw that I could just use it hand operated. And then I thought further on that, thought, well, I've got an angle grinder. I wonder if they have adapters to make those into circular saws. And sure enough, they do. So for, what's that, in Australian dollars, that's a bit under $11 for that adapter. And all that needs is a blade added. So there's a blade for about $3.40. So we're talking less than $15. I can turn my angle grinder into a circular saw, which might be the best way to go. So things are on hold until those turn up. I'm sort of subject to when my stepdaughter gets around to ordering these things. She's a bit busy at the moment, so we'll see. So we have steel for reinforcement. So this all seems pretty early. Ezra has a project here where I think he wants to extend this roof across the back of the rice factory here, build a bit more shelter. Not quite sure what for, but that pile of winterings is going to be in the way, and also the pond. So yeah, I don't know. But I think all these supplies are for this. We're getting started already with the laying out of the footprint and everything. As you can see, it's going to be wet this morning. It's only a few millimetres so far. There's still the occasional drop coming down. Here's out with our tractor, doing a bit of ground prep. And Bendi's over there. It's not Bendi, it's Obi. So this is our rice seedlings here, ready for the next planting session, which will probably include that bit over there. The rice paddies at the back of the shed have already been planted. Yeah, coming into the wet season now, so there'll be no shortage of water for the rice. And judging by the fact that I occasionally see a head pop up, that's probably at about 2 metres deep now. A quarter of the way there, and then I've got to build the brick wall inside it. Well, we're bailing out water quite a bit. Johnny's got his floor plan, so now they're going to start measuring out the spacing, I think. Got my hatchet there from the shed that they're going to use for driving them in by woodwork. If you want to see something amusing sometime, look up rice tractor racing on YouTube. Because in Thailand they have these things so souped up, so they're basically like drag racing, these things. Oh gee, they go. Okay, so we're going to start away from the back fence by the look of it, and encroach onto the rice drying area. Oh, all belongs to Jubaedah, so that's fair game, I guess. But there's the stakes up where the trenches will go. an overcast day, and I don't think we've had full sun today, but there's been enough sunshine to charge up the off-grid systems. And it's so humid that it can't get any more water into the air, so bits are falling out now and then. So we've had just over 2 millimetres of rain in slow drops. Hi Mum. The old water level tube had gone opaque, so I couldn't see the water level in it very easily. And Johnny was saying it's no good, no, come with me. I had a 50-metre roll of tube. Even though it's not sunny out there, it's 30.8 with it feels like a 44.2. No wonder I'm sweating. So lots of reinforcement steel stuff going on. So the rig here is for bending the rectangles. Yes. That'll be for the chicken feet. Things at the bottom of the columns. So it all starts to happen fast. 3 veranda posts. 4 meters. Okay. Fine, Johnny. To me. You can see some of the rice seedlings have been gathered up and planted out. We saw this being tracted yesterday, so it goes fast once it goes. We've got a couple of hectares, a couple of kilometres, or a kilometre or so that way, that have been planted up. I saw a video of that yesterday from Ezra. Traditionally these would be wired together with a fairly fine wire, as you've seen in previous construction videos, but this time they're opting to weld, as is quicker, probably more cost effective. Quite some time ago my orange 25-metre extension cable went missing. It's reappeared. Everybody said no, I haven't seen it. And apparently he was here at the rice factory all the time. I wonder how many other things that's true of. There's a reason they call this stoop labour. I'd last about 2 minutes of that before my back would give up on this. Hammer drills from Australia. I wonder how hard they'd find this without my tools. It's actually quite bearable out today. It's not full sun and it's not terribly hot. I think it's probably only about 27 degrees. Nice breeze, so bring on the rain, I think. There's a few spots starting now. For these guys, yeah, they're busily digging trenches to put in rock and concrete, and then there'll be ring beams on top of that, with the chicken feet or crow's feet, whatever you call them, the boxes for the bottom of the where the columns are, for all the various intersections. I brought a couple of right angle welding magnets from the shed, but they might be just adding difficulty, I think. If it was a butt joint instead of just crossing over, it might be okay, but yeah, we'll see. Lots of wood for the formwork for the concrete ring beams that will go around the top of the foundation beam. Dadang and Ezra are off to Pan Magna by a concrete mixer. And Dadang called Jubaedah to say they wanted 10 juta. No. 2.9 juta. We can get it from shopping with free delivery. So we're going to go with shopping. More rain overnight, but only little bits. It's only a couple of millimetres here and there. And it's Friday morning, so I'm going to do a bit of a wrap up and then do an upload. Got to look at the fall of that pipe. Look at the distance it is below the level above it, and the distance it is below the level at that end, and we're looking at about 20-25 centimetres, which is the required fall. Otherwise we get solids remaining in the pipe. Had a message exchange with Johnny this morning about wall heights, as I need to know that to know how long to make the concrete columns, and I'd left that to the experts because I don't know how much he needs above ceiling level for the roof and what have you. So he said, okay, 3.2 or 3.5 metres. I said, okay, let's go for 3.2 because that'll be cheaper. Got my nice electronic level. Hopefully it's not going to end up in the mud. There's a plastic cover over a battery on the end of that which has gone missing already. I swear that rice has grown already. And these guys are now down into the hard dark stuff. They've been playing in the water by the look of it. There's a problem with building a well is you want lots of water to come into it after it's built, but not during construction. As I suspected, the magnets turned out to be more trouble than they were, so he's not using them. Oh well, it's a good idea while it lasted. He's bending the heavy stuff for the pads to the bottom of the columns, and then this one over here is for making the box frames for the ring beams. Variety of tools. And Johnny came and collected the bolt cutters this morning, but here they are, wet, getting left out in the rain. More tool use. And I guess the gravel's staying at the front here because they haven't really got a position other than on top of the rice drying concrete to put this, but they don't need that immediately. But yeah, that's enough video for this week. I'll do an upload.